Cory Bernardi, thanks for joining me.
It's my pleasure, thank you.
For nearly 30 years, critics have labelled One Nation racist and xenophobic. Why did you decide to lead that party in this state?
I think the opportunity is to really make a huge difference to politics, and One Nation is the only party that has the track record of speaking up for the issues that I think many Australians feel about. And it's after 30 years, it's entrenched in the Australian vernacular. They know it's part of the political system, and I think they're waking up to the fact that the uni-party needs to be challenged, and One Nation is the only party that can do it.
But back to the question of racism and xenophobia, the federal leader Pauline Hanson recently suggested that there were no good Muslims. Do you agree with her?
Well, I 100% agree with her sentiments, and the question is, how do you define what a good Muslim is? I could put that question to you. Do you have a definition?
Well, I'm asking you the question. What
Sure. Well, a good Muslim under Islam is someone who obeys Sharia law and follows the Prophet Muhammad. So you've got to think about the definitions you've got, and you've got to put forward what is in our interest in this country. Do we want people who want to come here to obey our laws, support our culture, our way of life, and celebrate everything that's good about it? Or do we want people who come here and are going to seek to change all of the good things for something that is anathema to Western enlightenment?
To be clear, do you believe there are no good Muslims in Australia?
Well, no, but if you want to say someone is a good Muslim, then their values are incompatible with Australian values. If you say that someone happens to be of the Muslim faith and heritage, and they obey our laws and things under Islam, they are not good Muslims. So it's about how you define it. I want people here who embrace our way of life, who love what we have in this country, want to make it better, not to change it to be like some Middle Eastern kingdom or some backwater where they're still living in the 6th century.
Aren't there extremist values inherent in all religions?
There are weird people in all religions, of course, but if you look at the basic tenets of Christianity, it is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That is the foundation and the bedrock of what Australian civilisation and Western civilisational values are. So, if people want to uphold that, I'm all for it. But, you go into parts of the Islamic population and that's not what you get there.
Don't you think Australians would find what you just said offensive?
Well, I don't care if they find it offensive, it's true. And the whole point is we tread lightly around things because people feel I'm offended by that, but so what? In the end, we've got to confront reality. I'm sticking up for Australia. I will continue to support Australian values, and I'll fight for the voices of normal South Australians.
If I could turn to comments that you've made previously. During your time in the Senate, you faced backlash over comments linking gay marriage to bestiality. Do you still stand by those comments?
Well, if you take them again in the context of it, that we were debating whether the Marriage Act should be redefined, I said if you redefine the Marriage Act, you will have a number of consequences. So, the lefties and the bunch of the people who want to create problems can mischaracterise what I said, but that's the reality of it.
So you do still stand by those comments?
I stand by 100%. I'm not apologising or retracting anything I've said. And if you have a look at the redefinition of the Marriage Act, what's happened since then, we've gone down a complete spectrum which was entirely denied would ever happen, including the gender dysphoria.
Don't you agree, though, that a significant number of Australians would find the comments that you made back in the Senate offensive?
Again, I'm not fussed if they're offended by it. You can be offended by anything. I'm offended by people eating too much McDonald's. But, that doesn't mean you should not deal with the fabric or the reality of what you're confronting.
If we
hadn't redefined marriage, do you really think we'd have these gender dysphoria clinics and these puberty blockers? And that's the reality of what we're dealing with. We've got drag queen story time, you've got the education
what you're
system
referencing affects
young people.
A small cohort of the population. If I could bring you to the state election, health and education systems, what will One Nation do to improve those systems in South Australia?
Well, as far as education systems go, we want to empower more parents to get involved through school boards. We believe in school voucher systems so that they can choose the best school or the most appropriate school for their children. We want to remove the indoctrination and the poison and the black armband view of history that's been taught in schools. We want to make sure that there is a system of building up a belief and a confidence in our country rather than denigrating it. So that's the most basic thing. From a health perspective, Sure, we want to end hospital ramping. That's a huge failure of the government at the moment. There's now something like 45,000 annual
What policies
hours.
will you bring on the health front?
On the health front, what we want to do is make sure that there are access to day clinics for people who need minor surgeries. Not only is it cheaper, it's more effective. We want to provide greater mental health services, aged care services, so that the people who need those are not in high need or high acute care hospital beds, which is one of the great problems we've got so far. We also want to encourage more country doctors. We want to make sure that health services are in regional areas. It's about redeploying, I think, the limited resources that are available to government and prioritising the needs of Australians and South Australians.
Both the Liberal and Labor parties, they've promised to scrap public school fees. They've talked about turning the Old Women's and Children's Hospital into a new aged care precinct. Are there tangible things that One Nation will bring to the table?
Yeah, of course there are tangible things, and we've got a suite of policies in respect to it. We're open to all these things, but what we also realise is that many baubles get dangled around election time, and many of them are unfulfilled. Our mission is to make sure that we can live within our means, that we can actually serve the people of South Australia and give them the voice, rather than just distract them with ongoing leadership tensions, or as the Liberal Party do, or a whole bunch of circuses which are very popular that cost taxpayers a lot of money. And we point out again that we're running up to nearly $50 billion worth of state debt, and neither of the uni-party participants have any method or goal of how to pay it back.
Cory, thanks for joining me.
You're most welcome.